Greetings, Big Blue Dog community. Today we're going to talk a bit about myself, and we're going to talk a bit about the W800, and we'll talk a bit about the wonderful, awesome state of Vermont. We call it our brave little state of Vermont, but it's also just been named the safest state in the nation, which is a pretty cool accomplishment. Yes, we are a tiny but mighty state, and we've got just so much beautiful, natural, untouched beauty here that it's just an absolutely incredible place to live. Even with the long winters, we do have a pretty good riding season, but it's 4 or 5 months on the outside, and of course for people who live in much more tropical climates that might seem a little crazy, but here it's an absolutely wonderful place to live and just a joy. So let's get on with the video. Thanks for joining today. Thanks for clicking on the video. If you are so inclined, please do click on the like and subscribe button. I do publish videos on a semi-regular basis. I'll be doing it more often than I have been, just because it's riding season and I'll be able to do this quite a bit more. So a little bit about me. I am in my mid-50s, 54 at the current state. This is 2024, the last day of May. And I've been riding motorcycles since my teen years. My first motorcycle was a Vespa P200E, which is actually an Italian scooter, but I absolutely loved it. I rode it year-round, including in the snow. At the time, I lived in Colorado, and you wouldn't believe the looks that I got as a very young man riding with his feet down as outriggers on a Vespa with snow on the ground, snow on the road, and snowing. It was just, I imagine it was a hysterical sight to see. But as I've gotten older, I tend to stay away from sub-zero temperatures, sub-freezing temperatures, and do more of the, what I would call fair weather riding. Also, my riding tendencies have changed after moving to Vermont. I used to ride year-round in Colorado, not every day of the year, but I would ride in every month of the year, just because it was completely possible to have a 65, 70 degree day, or even a 30, 40 degree day that was perfectly clear on the roads. There'd be snow on the ground, but not on the roads, so I would go ahead and ride those days too. I do have a 2003 BMW R1200 CLC with heated seat and heated grips, and then I had winter riding gear, and that worked out perfectly for me, where I could hide behind the big windscreen and have plenty of wind protection, and then the heated grips made a world of difference, as well as the heated seat. I still have that bike here, but I do not ride in winter. I ride in what I would call later spring, starting late April and then going into October. Usually around the Halloween time is when we get our first bit of snow, but that's also when the temperatures just start to plummet. It really makes it uncomfortable for an older guy to get out there and ride. I have had a myriad of different motorcycles over the years. My first big bike in 1989 was a BMW R75/5. It was not the cool toaster tank one with the chrome plating on the side. It was just a normal gunmetal gray motorcycle, and I ended up getting hit on that one, and that one had, it wasn't in the best repair, and it had holes in the exhaust, and so it was a very loud motorcycle, and I got hit from the rear, which was where all the noise was going out because the baffles had been compromised. So I'm not a believer in loud pipes save lives. I'm a believer in loud pipes make noise. Some people like that. Some people really go to the extreme. But I believe in being a really good moto citizen and being a good neighbor to my other motorists on the road. So we'll talk a little bit about the W800. I fell in love with the W800 in, I would say 2021, when I first started seeing it, and I really started considering that. I honestly didn't think I'd buy another bike. I tend to ride motorcycles until there's basically nothing left of them. And so I wanted to make sure that the next bike I bought was something that I absolutely loved and would continue riding for quite a long time. So I looked and looked and looked to see what the used market looked like and what kind of condition the bikes were in. And I ended up finding a new old stock W800 2020 at a place called Nault's in Littleton, New Hampshire. And just a very short test ride, and I was already, smitten with the motorcycle. I hadn't realized it at the time because the seat is exceptionally comfortable for the first, 2 hours. And then after that, because I have a tailbone injury from that motorcycle accident I was talking about in 1989, the seat just becomes unbearable, the stock seat, after probably about 2 hours because of that tailbone injury. So I did end up swapping that out for the Omega Racer comfort seat, and I absolutely love it. I can go all day now on the bike. It's a gentleman's bike. It's a very polite motorcycle. It's a very well-mannered motorcycle. I did put the Michelin Road Classics on it, which perform a lot like a sport touring tire and have really inspired my confidence, whereas the Dunlop GT300s that came with it didn't inspire the confidence in me, especially in the wet. They felt not very planted, I guess is the best way to put it. And then at interstate speeds, they felt very, very floaty. The last thing that we'll talk about today is the great state of Vermont, the brave little state. It is just full of so much natural beauty. There are very few people here. I believe the entire population of the state is still under 650,000 people. Most of the small towns here are going to be exactly what you'd expect from New England small towns. The one metropolitan area that is fairly large is around the Burlington area. And if you count the entire Burlington metro, it's about 250,000 people. So it's a decent sized metroplex. Some of the stuff is a little further apart than you might expect. The building's a little shorter than you might expect. There's lots of great things and wonderful things to do here. My favorite thing is to get away from the Burlington area. It's called Chittenden County where that is, and get out into the other areas of Vermont where there's just absolutely gorgeous untouched beauty, especially in the northeast corner. It's called the Northeast Kingdom. And it's absolutely fantastic if you enjoy nature and lovely, just amazing views. So I did want to thank you for watching the video today. I know this is a little ad hoc. There were a couple of big noises in here with me touching the mic. But I wanted to thank you very much for watching the video. Please keep the shiny side up, the rubber side down, and keep it waiting.